been nearly 3 years since Colorado began issuing driver's licenses for people living in the U.S. illegally, and since then the program has been faced with a mountain of issues. But immigrant advocate groups worry that the problems could get even worse. Here's how. Basically, the entire problem centers around long waits for people trying to apply to get the driver's licenses. There are an estimated 120,000 people living in the U.S. legally in Colorado who are eligible for the driver's licenses, and the DMV can only service about 90 appointments each day, so that means there could be a years-long backlog for people who want to apply. In Colorado, driver's licenses for people living in the U.S. unlawfully are different than the ones that U.S. citizens get. They expire after 3 years instead of 5, which means that now that we're 3 years after the program began, there's about 11,000 people over the next 6 months that are going to have to get back in line to reapply. Advocate groups worry that with these 11,000 new people getting back in line, the backlog for people trying to get an appointment could get even longer. Under the current legislation, appointments for the licenses will only be offered at one office starting sometime next year. So that means people who live in the state's far-flung corners like Durango and Sterling would have to drive several hours just to apply, and that's if they can even get an appointment. Democrats for the past several years have been trying to get laws passed through the state legislature in order to improve the program, but Republicans have blocked most of those efforts. Leading Republican legislators say they don't back the program as a whole, so they're not likely to vote for any legislation the Democrats try to get passed. So this leaves the entire program in limbo, and one advocate, who has watched how other programs have played out in other states, called Colorado's initiative a nightmare scenario.